And Twilight Princess is filled with little foibles like that. Whereas Ocarina of Time, usually something that looks like it should work does work in this game. The range of action does not get quite as abstract in this game. Everything pretty much has one function and maybe like a minor side function. But in general, things that ought to work do work in Ocarina. But that's not true of Twilight Princess. And it's one of the reasons I don't like that game very much. Now she's going to play us the Ryx Ryx Song. RYX, RYX. This is my favorite song on the soundtrack, by the way, Saria's song. I'm a big fan of this tune. Big fan. So, absent the hint system that we talked about previously, with where you can talk to the glowing like Sheikah stone and get like a video hint. What you can do is use your ocarina to call up Saria, and she can give you a hint to tell you, kind of point you in the right direction. And I remember playing this game for the first time, calling Saria constantly. Not because I was stuck or anything. Just because, remember at the time, I was a big story guy. I really wanted to hear what Saria had to say every step of the way. I know it looked like I was taking a lot of stupid damage, and I was, but it was fine because I knew we were coming down here to my grocery store. This is my grocery store. This is where I come for all of my fill up my damn heart needs. I've got a fairy in a bottle now. We're actually going to keep the letter equipped, though, because I don't want to accidentally, like if my hand slips, I don't want to accidentally set my fairy free. As long as we got that bottled fairy, we cannot be killed. If we're reduced to 0 hearts, that fairy will jump out, fill us up, and later on we'll get more bottles, so we'll be able to carry more fairies. I'm going to get 3 of the 4 bottles in this run. The 4th bottle is probably the most tedious item to get in the game, except for, I think you get a heart piece for collecting all 100 Skulltulas. That's probably the most tedious item. I say tedious, I mean hunting down the Skulltulas, it's a fun little exercise. I mean, I enjoy doing it in this game. In fact, I've done it a couple times. Usually when I'm playing this game just casually, just playing for fun, I will hunt down all the Skulltulas. What we want to do now is exit Lost Woods through the wrong way, go back inside, and we're going to get some free stuff. I mean, as a kid, I mapped out the Lost Woods. RYX, RYX? Yes, that's it. I have a little button down there that's a reminder button that'll tell me what the songs are, and you'll see me hit that button, because there's too many songs in this game for my old fogey brain to memorize. And I do get them mixed up quite a bit. And now for this target practice. Beautiful. And my prize for winning the easiest target practice minigame in the world is a bigger seed bag, so now I can hold more seeds for my slang shot. Glorious. Now that we have what we need, we can head back to the Goron city. So this is one of the fast travel elements of the game, is that Kokiri Woods actually links to several other locations around the world map. So you don't literally have to run across Hyrule fields when you're going somewhere. A lot of times, if you can instead plot a course through Kokiri Woods if you want. Are you ready? Are you ready to see why Darunia is the best? Oh, I'm so excited. I love this part. Oh, yeah. There you go. Homeboy, break it down. Cutting that rug, Darunia. Is that a rug on the ground? It's a rug. Yeah, it's a rug. Kind of out of character for Gorons to have rugs. You would imagine to just have like stone carvings or something on the floor. It's actually probably a very uncomfortable wicker mat that would irritate the skin for you to lay on, but their skin is made of stone, so they're perfectly happy about it. Yeah, raise that roof, brother! Oh man, even the cameraman's flipping out now. I love Saria's song, my favorite song on the soundtrack. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So Darunia is going to reward us for playing Saria's song with a nice little upgrade for us. And I mentioned before that if I'm feeling a little hyperbolic, I'll say in a Zelda game, if you're not in a dungeon or heading to a dungeon, the game's wasting my time. That's not strictly 100% true, because I do get some enjoyment out of doing the overworld explorations and stuff, as we've seen in this game. Like, I'll go out of my way to do some overworld stuff from time to time, but we're already on our way to the next dungeon. Like, right now, we're going. If you know the critical path, you can just knock it out, bro. You can just go. All you have to do is talk to Darunia, talk to Saria, talk to Darunia again. That's it. That's the only critical thing. But yeah, I wanted to stop and play with chickens and whatnot. I'm about to do the one and only sequence break that I'm aware of without glitching the game crazily that I like to do. So the next thing we have to do, because we have gloves now that can throw these bomb flowers, we'll pitch a bomb flower down here. That landed way too high. Excellent. That was terrible. Terrible throw. Unsubscribed. That was too far away. Nope, we got it. So, that'll get us into the next dungeon down there. But what we want to do is we can see a ledge with a heart piece on it over there. So what we're going to do, turn around, throw this out of the way, turn around, backflip, land on the ledge to get over that little fence. So the correct way to do that is later on in the game we're going to find magic beans, okay? And you can buy magic beans and you can plant them in soft soil like this. And then later in the game the magic beans will grow into flowers that you can ride around. Not flowers, they're actually like lily pads, I guess. But you ride them around and they take you places. And one of that lily pad there takes you up to that ledge where that heart piece is. Or you can backflip over the little fence. You know, however you want to do it, man. Dodongos Cavern. Try to pay attention on the little mini-map on the bottom screen or on my play screen here. Try to keep track, as I'm going through this dungeon, of just the spatial placement of all the rooms. How the dungeon fits together. How there's like one grand cavern. How we're going to crisscross back and forth through it multiple times over the course of the dungeon. And if you do that, if you're able to kind of keep your brain on task and see how this dungeon fits together spatially, you might understand what I meant when I said that the dungeons in this game, that at making it a 3D game, really steps it up. It really makes these dungeon locations feel much bigger, much more vibrant, much more complex than the 2D dungeons on the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy. I don't think there was a Zelda game on the Sega Genesis. I'd have to double check, but I don't think there was. I don't want you anymore. Will you go away, please? You're going to blow up, aren't you? Let's get back here. Yeah, he's going to blow up. Because so much can be done just with verticality in these dungeons. Just with the path crisscrossing over. And a lot of times you might not even realize you're in a room above a room that you were in without studying your map. That was a big line item in Link to the Past. You had to kind of know where you were vertically on the map. No? You're going to run away now? You got your brother's going to come at me somewhere, though, right? Oh, where's he at? He'll find me. Oh, he's coming. There he is. Come on, buddy. What you got? Nothing. Nothing. Takes three choppy hits to kill these guys. 3 big chops. But after 2 big chops, they had enough, and they want to take off. Here comes the other guy. Come on. Come on. Come get you some. Oh, I thought they took 3. I guess they take 4. But after 2, they're done, and they want to back off. But now you're all alone. Now you don't have a choice. Your brother's dead, son. Most excellent. So, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, I mentioned it's a good game, and I like it for that reason. And I mentioned it's an important game, and I like it for that reason. And I mentioned that it's a nostalgic game because I was 16, and I like it for that reason. But there's still yet another axis that I think this game can really be enjoyed on. Leaving aside the fact that it's a good game, and leaving aside the fact that it's like the grandfather of pretty much all modern action-adventure games, leaving aside the fact that I played it when I was 16 and it was a magical time in my life, in my budding pubescence. I'm sorry, does it bother you that I used the word pubescence? Did it make you wince a little bit? That's funny to me. Anyway, leaving all that aside, just considering it as a Zelda game, as an entry in the Zelda series compared to the other games, I still think it's the best out of them. I think this batch of dungeons is the best batch of dungeons in the Zelda series. And like I said, Zelda dungeons, just in general, are my favorite kind of gameplay. Like, in terms of what video games can do, it's really hard to beat a Zelda dungeon. That's one of the reasons, I'm going to say it's like the big reason I came away kind of resenting my time with Breath of the Wild, because that game just doesn't have dungeons. It didn't have the most important thing in a Zelda game to me. I'm going to just take the damage here. Let's wake this guy up and let him just bump into me. There we go. He doesn't explode right away. He takes a minute first. But I'll just take the half heart. Whatever. That's fine. So, yeah, the dungeons in Ocarina of Time, it's like, man, they're genius. They're just absolutely brilliant. There's not a bad dungeon in this game. Yes, even that one. I know you're gonna go right down to the comments, and you're gonna. I feel you down there now. But yes, even that one. In fact, that one is my favorite Zelda dungeon in existence. There's not a better Zelda dungeon than the one you're currently thinking about. But all of them are great. Every dungeon. This game just has a little bit of everything. It's got like some clever observation puzzles. It's the first game in the series that really makes excellent use of like spatial awareness puzzles. It has lots of tools and toys to play with. There's lots of fun stuff. It has just the right amount of combat. One of the things I didn't like about future Zelda games from Wind Waker onward is they became a little too concerned with combat. And combat's always been a big part of Zelda. In fact, I think this one probably, this game probably has less combat by volume than any Zelda game, I would say. Here's the fire bats that I mentioned. These guys suck. Let's take care of these guys before anything else terrible happens. I think that was the last one. Okay, now we're looking for a statue that's guarding a ladder, because the other ones will come to life. Are you guarding a ladder, sir? You're not. Are you, sir? You are. So you're not going to come to life. I can just push you out the way. Move it. Starting in Wind Waker, the combat system has like lots of moves that you have to kind of memorize. Wind Waker felt alright. I think the combat in Wind Waker feels alright. Feels really good sometimes, I'll admit. Twilight Princess has terrible combat because it relies on the on the motion controls of the Wii controller. And yeah, I know there's a GameCube version of Twilight Princess, but that's not the version that I played. And the motion controls are not the only reason I hated Twilight Princess. But the my point is, I always jump on that trap there. Let's jump over it this time. And then as soon as I hit the ground, Navi warns me about the traps. But thanks, Navi. All of the combat in this game boils down to lock on the monster, wait for it to attack, and then counterattack. You can win every fight in the game that way. And that's not true of the other Zelda games. And the combat can kind of get a little out of hand, in my opinion. That was a bad throw. You kind of have to throw this... Either you have to time it so it blows up in flight, or you kind of have to throw it at a diagonal. So... Not like that. That was terrible. So it lands on the little lip of that wall over there. Is what we're trying to do with ourselves. No, 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 no! Oh, okay. Did not mean to fall off the platform. Can I just jump from the block, or do I have to jump from the ladder? Let's jump from the ladder, because I know that'll work. If I can get up onto the ladder again. Perfect. So yeah, the sword controls in Twilight Princess, just not a fan. I'm gonna get blown off this platform. No, I didn't even take damage. Sweet, go me. And every time I mention that, every time I'm playing a Zelda game and I say that, people are like, but we watch you play Zelda 1 all the time, and that game's nothing but stabbing people. Like, yeah, but in Zelda 1, the original NES Zelda, the only attack you have is a sword attack. And all you can do is stab, and that's it. Unless you have full hearts. You gonna stab me sometime today? You're taking off? Where's your brother at? I mean, I'm gonna go out here to the middle, I think. Come on, buddy. Come on, come get you some. I'm probably just prolonging this fight by using regular sword slashes when I'm getting impatient, but... Can I shoot him? Yes. Wonder how many shots they take. Oh, they're dancing out of the way of the shots now. Yeah, Legend of Zelda, you have one sword attack. Oh, you're coming back for more. That's interesting. My sword wasn't out. It's out now, though. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. So it's not the quantity of combat that I prefer in Zelda games. It's the simplicity. I don't want 30 kinds of swords moves. You know, I don't want a lot of complicated... there's hearts out here that I can go grab over here by the lava waterfall. Lava waterfall? That just hurts saying it. Speaking of hurt, where's my tea? I like a Zelda system where you have a sword button, and that's it. In this game, it is a little more complicated than that, because you've got your sword button that can do this. You can also stab if you crouch first. Oh, not with this shield. With the Deku shield, I believe I can. Yeah, you got that stab there, but I don't want the Deku shield because it will catch fire and burn. You've got this here, the spinny slash. And that's kind of it. Other than that, all of the combat system in this game is just managing your lock-on, really. Sometimes it's a good idea to use the lock-on to keep track of the monster. Sometimes you don't need to do that. And the simplicity in the combat... I mean, the bosses, I almost don't count bosses in Zelda games as combat anyway. Because the bosses in a good Zelda game are always going to be puzzle fights. You know what I mean? There are a couple walls in Dodongos Cavern that we can go blow apart now. Now that we have our very own bombs, we don't have to rely on the bomb flowers anymore.
Shoutouts to Gordalot for sponsoring this video, and to everybody who helps make my channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.